Your dog just sprinted across the living room at full speed, bounced off the couch and slid into the wall. You laughed. You probably filmed it. But that explosion of chaos isn't random silliness. It's a neurological event with roots older than civilization itself. And some of the strangest things your dog does every single day are actually survival behaviors so deeply wired that no amount of domestication has been able to erase them. Let's start with the most misunderstood one of all. 1. The zoomies. Your dog is lying on the floor, calm, maybe half asleep, and then, without warning, something flips. They launch off the ground like they've been electrocuted. They sprint in tight, frantic circles, eyes wide, body low, tearing through the house at a speed you didn't think they were capable of. They ricochet off furniture. They skid on the hardwood. And then, just as suddenly it stops, they flop down, panting like nothing happened. Most people assume this is just pent-up energy. Maybe they haven't had enough exercise. Maybe they're just being goofy. But animal behaviorists call this a FRAP, a frenetic random activity period, and it's far more significant than it looks. Researchers studying arousal regulation in canines found that FRAPs function as a rapid discharge mechanism for the autonomic nervous system. When a dog's internal tension exceeds what their body can process passively, the nervous system hits a release valve. Your dog isn't being silly. They're self-regulating their entire neurochemistry in the only way evolution gave them. Wolf pups in the wild do the exact same thing after a high-tension event, a hunt nearby, a confrontation at the den entrance, a sudden environmental shift. The burst of movement resets cortisol levels and restores neurological equilibrium. Think about that next time your dog tears through the house after a bath. They're not celebrating, they're recalibrating. 2. Spinning in circles before lying down. You've watched your dog do this 1,000 times. They walk to their spot, start turning in a tight circle. Once, twice, sometimes 4 or 5 times, and then finally settle down. It looks ridiculous. It looks pointless. Most people assume it's just a comfort thing, finding the right position, fluffing up the bed. But this behavior has been documented in wild canids across every continent. Researchers at the University of Zurich observed wolves, African wild dogs, and dingoes performing the same circling ritual before rest, even on flat ground. The behavior served 3 functions: scanning for threats, flattening brush to eliminate hiding spots for snakes and insects, and positioning the body so the nose faces incoming wind, allowing detection of predators by scent while unconscious. Your dog isn't adjusting a pillow. They're executing a 15,000-year-old perimeter check before entering the most vulnerable state any animal can be in. Every single circle is an ancient security. Protocol running on hardware that still thinks the living room floor might kill them. If you're the kind of person who actually wants to understand what your dog is really telling you, hit the like button and subscribe right now, because everything you think you know about your dog's weirdest habits is about to change. 3. Eating grass. You're on a walk. Your dog veers off the path and starts chewing grass like they've suddenly decided to become a cow. They're not even chewing it properly. They're tearing at it, swallowing it in clumps, and sometimes throwing it up 20 minutes later. Most people assume their dog is sick, that they're trying to make themselves vomit, that something is wrong. But a large-scale study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science surveyed over 1,500 dog owners and found that fewer than 9% of dogs showed signs of illness before eating grass, and only 22% vomited afterward. The vast majority were perfectly healthy. So what's actually happening? Evolutionary biologists point to the ancestral diet of wild canids. Wolves and feral dogs regularly consume plant matter, not for nutrition, but for parasite management. The indigestible fibers increase intestinal motility and physically sweep parasitic worms from the gut lining. It's self-medication that predates veterinary science by tens of thousands of years. Your dog isn't sick. They're running an ancient internal cleansing protocol that their body still believes is necessary. That's not a weird habit. That's inherited pharmacology. And here's where it gets really interesting, because the next behavior on this list is something you see every single day and have absolutely never questioned. 4. Kicking the ground after going to the bathroom. Your dog finishes their business, takes 2 steps forward, and then starts aggressively scraping the ground with their back legs. Dirt flies, grass gets torn up. It looks like they're trying to bury something, or maybe just showing off. Most people think they're covering their waist. Like a cat, they're doing the opposite. Dogs have scent glands between their toes called interdigital glands. When they kick the ground, they're not hiding anything, they're broadcasting. Each scratch deposits a unique chemical signature into the soil that contains information about identity, sex, reproductive status, and territorial boundaries. A 2018 study by ethologists at the University of Córdoba found that ground scratching was significantly more frequent around unfamiliar dogs and in novel environments. It's not hygiene, it's a territorial press conference. That frantic kicking isn't awkward, it's a declaration. 5. Bringing you random objects. You walk through the front door and your dog races to meet you, but not empty-handed. They've got a shoe, or a sock, or that one stuffed animal they've had since they were a puppy. They're not chewing it, they're not playing with it, they're just holding it, presenting it. Tail, going in circles. Most people assume it's playfulness. They want you to throw it. They want to start a game. But behaviourists at the Family Dog Project at Eötvös-Loránd University observed something more specific. Dogs who carry objects to their owners during greetings are performing a ritualized version of a wolf pack behavior, the food sharing return. When a wolf returns to the den after a hunt, they bring something back. It's a social bonding behavior that communicates, I'm part of this group. Here's my contribution. Your dog isn't asking you to play fetch. They're offering you a gift. They're performing a reunification ritual that says, in the only language they have, you came back. I'm glad. Here, this is for you. Let that sink in for a second. 6. Staring at you while they poop. This is the one nobody talks about. Your dog is doing their business in the yard, and they turn around and lock eyes with you. Unblinking, intense, deeply uncomfortable for you, apparently. Perfectly natural for them. Most people think it's embarrassing or funny or just another weird dog thing, but from an evolutionary standpoint, defecation is one of the most vulnerable moments in any animal's day. They can't run, they can't fight, they're completely exposed. In the wild, this is the moment predators strike. Researchers studying vigilance behavior in canids found that wild dogs almost always maintain visual contact with a packmate while eliminating, not as a social gesture, as a survival check. They're looking to their trusted partner for a signal that the perimeter is secure. Your dog isn't being weird. They're trusting you with their life in that moment. That eye contact means, I'm defenseless right now. I need you to watch for danger. That's not awkwardness. That's the deepest kind of trust an animal can show. Think about what that actually means. 7. Play sneezing. You're wrestling with your dog on the floor. Things are getting rowdy. And then, mid-play, your dog lets out a sharp, deliberate sneeze. Not a real sneeze. Their nose isn't bothering them. It's quick, intentional, almost percussive. Most people don't even notice it. If they do, they assume allergies. But animal communication researchers have documented this as a deliberate social signal. A 2017 study in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B, focused on African wild dogs, found that sneezing during group interaction functioned as a consensus mechanism, signaling consent and keeping the group's energy within a safe range. Domestic dogs use the same signal. A play sneeze is your dog's way of telling you, this is still a game. I'm not actually aggressive. We're okay. It's a real-time emotional status update delivered through a burst of air. Your dog isn't having an allergy attack. They're communicating in a dialect so subtle most humans never even hear it. 8. Rolling in something absolutely disgusting. You're at the park. Your dog finds something unspeakable. Dead fish, rotting leaves, another animal's droppings, and before you can react, they're on their back, grinding it into their fur with pure, unrestrained joy. Neck first, shoulders next, full commitment. You're horrified. They look ecstatic. Most people think this is just disgusting dog behavior. No deeper meaning, just gross. But behavioral ecologists have studied this for decades, and the leading theory traces directly back to wolves. Scent rolling is a hunting strategy. By coating themselves in a foreign scent, wolves mask their own smell, making it harder for prey to detect them. Researchers at the Wolf Science Center in Vienna observed that wolves preferentially rolled in novel, strong-smelling organic material, exactly the kind of thing your dog just found at the park. A secondary theory, supported by research from Max Planck Institute ethologists, suggests scent rolling also functions as information sharing. A wolf returns to the pack carrying an unfamiliar scent, and the rest of the pack investigates it, learning about the environment through the scout's body. Your dog might be bringing you a report. Your dog isn't being gross. They're executing a predatory camouflage technique, or delivering reconnaissance that's been coded into their DNA for longer than human language has existed.